Everybody, I am Sheila Jade, and this is Chocolate Cake 101. So, I wanted to talk to you guys. I just wanted to do, man, I've been feeling some type of way. So, this is an impromptu spiritual rant. I don't want to say so much a rant, but I do have a bone to pick with a lot of the shit that's been going down spiritually, right? Okay, so in Happy Lionsgate, today is the heightened potentiality of this Lionsgate portal being open. So happy Lionsgate. All right, so when I say spirituality, I am talking about this this woke culture. I'm talking about consciousness. I'm talking about all the people also. Includes all the people also who have a problem with it. We're talking about your regular average people, anyone who's in a regular religion that thinks this stuff is scary, hocus pocus, whatever, I don't know. I just want to talk to you guys about this stuff because this shit ain't going anywhere. We're talking about a whole new world. If you haven't noticed, there's a whole new world being formed. And with the chaos that's been going on, if we continue how things are going, this shit is looking real, I don't know, just real chaotic, confusion, and it's keeping a lot of people away from the power. So, with spirituality, I'm working through resistance with people who don't believe it or don't understand it, because this is your spirit. This is who you are outside of this human experience. And the one thing that everyone agrees on is that you weren't always here. You came into this world and that you're leaving. So the fact that we don't have any emphasis or focus or study or wonder or interest on where we came from before we got here and where we're going when we leave, like, that's what spirituality is. It is, to me, the spirituality or consciousness is the awareness that I am more than this human body. I am more than this human experience. I am more than a black female American, and I want to see where else my power lies. Specifically, if you think about it, in my case, being what we would call black and being what we would call female, and even saying being called an American in the caste system that I'm in, it would behoove me to see where else my power lies, because according to this caste system, things are quote unquote hard for me. So instead of living in that fear, why would I not go see where my power lies? All right, so now listen to me. Spirituality is not a black and white set of rules. Spirituality is extremely personal. If you can think about all the different options in life that you have, the different colors of the rainbow that you can even perceive with your eyes, right? Just what's even in our spectrum, the colors, the different numbers, the different DNA codes, the different molecules, the different chemicals. There's so much variety that you have to understand that you have a choice, and you have to understand that there's so much more going on. No one has the same DNA because no one's the same. Therefore, there's no set of rules for everybody. And I'm not saying that there's not standards that can help you, because absolutely, right? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, you got to take what works for you, what resonates, what aligns with you in your life, and use that. You can't sit here and say, oh, I'm wrong because of what they said, I wasn't this. Stop letting something outside of you. That's what religion is. Okay. In my acknowledgement and awareness, I understand religion, because religion and spirituality are not the same thing. Religion is giving the power that is within you to something that's outside of you. So, for example, we are born into this world, and based off of whatever region or religion you live in, you're told that there is an outside energy that is helping you, that gives you all your power, and that's gonna set you. And human beings, being one of the most powerless species when we're babies, we need the people around us. Of course, we're gonna go right into whatever they tell us to do. But that's the low polarity of consciousness. God gave you power, or whatever you perceive as God gave you the power to be a creator, but you don't know. It's like the catch-22. It's the gotcha. That's that trickster energy, the chaos, the confusion. Anyways, so one thing that I've noticed, there are a lot of powerful people. I don't know if I just skipped topics, but it's going to be alright. So this is an impromptu rant. There are a lot of people who know a lot of really powerful stuff, but they know it in a low vibrational and fear-mongering way. I had a girl tell me the other day that because I had a skull, that means death and I'm going to die. And I had to lovingly explain to her what a skull actually represents, and that I'm sorry, I'm not even sorry, I wanted her to be aware that her thoughts and even her words that she said to me were fear-based, low vibrational, and while that could be true for her because that's what she believes, that is not true for me, and each being has to make their own representation of what works for them, because at the end of the day, it don't matter all this physical shit that's around you, it don't matter anything, what matters is your intention. See, this is why I say impromptu. This is whistle work. This is, you can't really see it, and I'm trying to be more loving. This is a vibrational chart. The emotional chart. Your emotions are frequencies. I play this game called high polarity, low polarity, because anything that happens, you can think of it in a good way. What is it? The cup being half empty, the cup being half full. Both will work, right? Because you can see from the spectrum, if this is a glass and the water is filled with this, it is half empty, but it could also be half full. And the way that you perceive it is the way that you are going to live out that experience. So if you see it as half empty, you're seeing it from lack, you're seeing it from fear, you're seeing it from shortage. If you see it as half full, you're seeing yourself as lucky, as abundant, as being taken care of, as being provided for, as secure, and as stable. And whatever thought form you are in alignment with is the experience that's going to be played out. So if you think lackful thoughts, the universe is going to give you a lackful experience. You decided it. If you think abundant and love thoughts, and I know love is such a funny word, we're going to go into it on another time. But if you live in a positive, not a positive, but seeing things as working out for you and giving things the benefit of the doubt, practicing emotional discernment, seeing things as half full, giving things the benefit of the benefit, then that's the experience that's going to be played out for you. And I've seen that played out for me so many times in so many situations in my life as soon as I changed how I thought. So what I'm saying is, the skull is a skull. It's a physical thing, right? She made it something bad and scary. I made it something very powerful. So to tell you guys, a skull to me, I love skulls. I used to be afraid of skulls just like the rest of society, but then I realized I learned more about it. I'm really big into if something scares me, I'm gonna learn about it because I'm not gonna let anything scare me. And that's my main thing is we gotta start questioning the things that we're afraid of. Why am I afraid of it? But anyway, I see the skull as a symbolism of skill in the universe. Skill in the universe being anything that you cannot perceive or manifest through your five senses in a body form. You can't see it, taste it, touch it, hear it, or smell it. So anything outside of those senses that you can do is a skill that is a universal skill, is a spiritual skill. And a skull is a representation of that, but it's also a representation of defying death, because death does not exist out in the universe. Death is merely transformation. When beings die here, their bodies go back to the ground, but they're not dead. They go on and live. Their spirit, their energy lives. They just don't live on this dimension anymore. To live on this dimension, you have to have a physical body, a physical vessel. Okay, so spirituality, fear-mongering. So the reasons I've noticed with spirituality, there are a lot of toxic people in spirituality, and I had to ask myself, why is this? Obviously, because you're looking at people who in a religious or in a conservative or in a going along with the flow of society way, they've been outcasted. A lot of times these are beings, these are people, these are humans who've had experiences in their childhood or experiences growing up that did not coincide with the religion. So for example, I have to give an example. They are gay. They're gay, homosexual, whatever you want to call it, and the religion that they grew into calls them bad. So they decide, and I'm not saying this is wrong, I'm simply giving an example. So they decide, because the religion that they've grown up in is saying that who they are is wrong, they either decide that that religion's not for them. A lot of times they'll decide that there's other options. Maybe this isn't for me. And so a lot of times these are your people who are going to be more spiritual. And I'm not just talking about that. Another example would be someone who had a woman who had a baby out of wedlock. Now she's outcasted by this system, so now she's going to go look at something that does give her power. And spirituality is something that gives everybody power, because at the end of the day, you going back to wherever you came from. You are a spirit. You have spiritual energy. Everything is energy. Anyway, so in the spiritual community is built up of a lot of people who weren't necessarily spiritual because they had that calling in a positive way, but more so spirituality, being spiritual because as a form of being a refugee of where they come from. If Christianity accepted them, they'd still be a Christian. If this religion still accepted them based off of their lifestyle, they'd still be that way. But this kind of shunned them, or it didn't work out for them, so they went looking for their power in some other way. But they haven't healed the trauma. They still have these whack-ass beliefs. So they bring their whack-ass beliefs to spirituality. For example, fear. If you haven't noticed, we live in a society that is ran by fear and confusion, chaos. Now, chaos is not a bad thing. However, chaos is a raw form of creation. Think about a black hole before it becomes a universe. Think about a fetus, the early forms of a fetus becoming a baby. You don't know what it is. What's happening in there is magic. It cannot be explained or perceived by humans. It's chaos. Chaos is anything that cannot be perceived by us. We're confused. We don't know what it is. It hasn't been formed yet. It hasn't been made yet. We have not gained clarity about this. We have not identified this. The ocean has so much chaos in it because we don't know what it is. It's dark energy. It's energy that we have not figured out yet. So I would say chaos is anything that science can't explain. Another form of something that science can't explain is called magic. So I don't know if I'm bouncing around because I was about to go to something else and I don't know if I finished what I was saying. Yes, there are a lot of toxic people in spirituality that bring their fear to spirituality. For example, telling me that a skull is death, not understanding that everyone has a personal experience because we all come from different places in the universe. And even if we don't, there's a frequency of life that you live on. If you live on a fear frequency where you think that that's what it means, then yeah, you should pray. But if you don't, then be happy, be merry, and be powerful. Live in whatever truth you have, because at the end of the day, your experiences are going to be based on what you believe about yourself and the world around you. That's why you want to practice discernment and emotional intelligence about the shit that you believe and the shit that you allow yourself to believe about yourself and the world around you. So I wanted to really focus on the toxicity of spirituality. One, because these are now humans who are gaining power. They're understanding that elements of that if they align themselves with the ecosystem, that they are going to grow, they're going to evolve, such as these earth elements: air, fire, water, earth, air, fire, wind, water. Anyway, heart, and yes. See, we got so much to talk about. I can talk for days. All right, so you guys call it magic because you don't understand what it is, but all this is spirituality, and you can call it, there's so many different forms because there's so many different religions, there's so many different beings, there's so many different practices in spirituality. Why? Because at the core, everyone has a spirit. So you're going to have spiritual Christians, spiritual leaders, spiritual people in business, people who are still practicing the laws of spirituality as they also practice the laws of being a human and the laws of their government and the laws of their organization, the laws of their team, their club, their group, whatever. They also study the laws, they also practice and participate in the laws of the universe, and this helps. This helps them flow through whatever life they choose to live, right? So, but with the fear that is being brought to spirituality, it's making shit be muddled and toxic. A lot of people are not getting the results they want. They're afraid. They're holding themselves back. And I wonder if spirits are so powerful, how the fuck did we get into this position in the first place? And it's because all the fear that was mixed up into the power. You can't have fear and power. Funny, I have this book here, Power versus Force. Power versus Force by David R. Hawkins. Power talks about attracting things to you through being what you want, through being the higher vibration, through radiating what you want. What is that saying? Be the change you want to see in the world. Force is like the 48 laws of power. It's getting what you want through negative energy, forcing it, manipulation in a low way, because manipulation can also be just you setting an intention. Willing something is manipulating it, but manipulation in a bad way, tricking someone into it, which is, if you haven't noticed, there's a lot of trickery, chaos, confusion, fear-mongering in our world today, not just through religion and through God and through spirituality, but through mandates and governing of people. It's built on so much bullshit, and that's why it's so important to question what you fear. Because it's really weird that people were taught to just stay away from what they fear. And I'm not saying don't stay away from it, but if you don't know what it is, you don't even know what you're fearing. You don't know why you're fearing it, and you're going to stay afraid of it, and you're allowing it to now limit you. I don't like limitations. So I learn about what it is, why am I supposed to be afraid of it? Because one, we're supposed to be. You are an infinite being with infinite potential in an infinite universe. One of my sayings I always say, Abraham Hicks. But you have to create what you want. You have to create the power, because if I am limitless, if I am an infinite being with infinite potential, then this doesn't have to be a problem. For every problem, there's a solution. It's law. For anything that exists, so does its opposite. So if there is a problem, there is a solution. I feel like I'm getting off point. My point of this whole rant is, y'all gotta stop this fear shit and this misunderstanding and always looking at something as bad. When you hear information, you get scared. You attack the people with knowledge, and you don't even attack the knowledge, you attack their character. We're not getting anything done. Actually, I'm about to go into this. I've been doing this master. I've recorded it like 5 times. I've even edited it, and now I'm about to still do another whole version of it. I've had it edited by an outside party, and I'm still about to record it. The laws of the universe. We're going to talk about these things because these are the base knowledge that you want to know when you go through life. I don't know if I'm rambling. That's something that I'm working on. I don't even know if I got my point across. I'm trying to think of anything else I want to say. Hold on. Okay. My point of wanting to come on here and real quick talk about spirituality is because there's so much misinformation and people are running from their power. Your power in a world that is falling apart, your power is in who you are outside of this shit. Your power is in your relationship with the higher entities. That's where your power lies. But there's so much chaos, confusion, and fear and hatred in that, because I'm not trying to be funny, but they don't want you to be powerful. They don't want you to have your power, because if you have your power, they can't manipulate your power. Your power is being used against you, by the way, but that's for another master. But yes, your power lies in spirituality. But people think, first of all, when people think spirituality, for some reason, a lot of people think witchcraft, and witches get a bad rap. So first of all, that's such an ignorant and it's an ignorant thought, because energy is energy. It's science. There's 10,000 witches, warlocks. You could be a scientist. You could be an alchemist. You could be a necronomicon. You could be a shaman. You could be a monk. You could be a medicine woman. You could be a witch doctor. But you know what I'm saying? There's so many different forms of practices that do the same thing, because it's being in line with the ecosystem. All they're doing is using the powers of the ecosystem to help them feel more powerful within. Religion, like I said, I was saying earlier, religion is when you look at something outside of you for help with your power. Being a creator is understanding that your power is within. There is nothing wrong with either of them. There's nothing wrong with mixing it up. A lot of people who yield their own thing through their mind and manipulate their reality also will burn a candle, because that's, what do I say, fire, earth, air, water, and heart, which heart is prana. It's also, heart could be melanin, plasma, life force. Soul. Heart is soul, which is plasma, which is melanin. But anyway, those energies that are connected to the ecosystem help you. You don't need them, but they have a lot of, it helps. So yeah, you can use something outside of you to help you, but it's really just a symbolism of the power within you. So all spirituality is awakening the power within you. There's this silly nonsense that using certain things will give you bad luck, and you have to cross your fingers and 3 times 3 and all these silly rules. And I don't mean to be disrespectful to anyone's religious beliefs when I say silly, but at the end of the day, like I said, it's how you perceive it and it's your intention. And so to impose upon other people through fear that they're doing something wrong in their spiritual journey, the only thing that you could be doing wrong is your intention. If you are doing something on a low frequency with the intention of fear, then that's the reason I say wrong is because nothing is right or wrong. But the reason I'm saying wrong is because if you're doing something from a low frequency, it's going to yield low frequency results. Maybe not at first, but that's what a cycle is. That's what we're actually been working on now, is those, what's it called? Hypnotic rhythm. These are all conversations for another day. Let me just make sure that's everything I wanted to say. My main message is wanting to, let's normalize spirituality being a personal journey. Let's take the spookiness out of spirituality. Let's take the fear out of spirituality. The fear of other beings, the fear of other entities. So ghosts or aliens is what I'm talking about. The fear of the power within you. We got to get rid of this fear shit. We got to stop arguing with each other and start asking questions. Because there are reasons why people have the beliefs that they have. And when you come at someone, or when you react to a situation with fear or with disbelief or on a low vibration, all you're doing is blocking off your power, because your power is going to be in your peace. And that doesn't mean you have to agree with something, but attacking someone's belief or attacking their character is lowering your energy, because now you are responding on a low frequency. You want to respond with peace and with power, and with understanding that you are strong, and that person is only looking at themselves from a lesser place and having compassion for them. and now talking through the situation. I think that's all I wanted to say. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you found value in this spiritual rant. There's probably gonna be more to come because I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of bullshit out here. Like I said, happy Lionsgate, happy Age of Aquarius, happy Golden Age, happy evolution, because obviously there's some shit going on around here. I am Shayla Jade. You can follow me on our platforms at I am Shayla Jade. That's it. Be well. Peace, man.